Oh, my darkest old friend, tumble into me again, rolling in a great fog, blanket in silver and song, smiling like a wise bird, shadowing all of my words, and dark as a flame, impossibly comforting, painful, unseen. Oh, 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 darling, touch me now, talk to me all night. You know I've been here before, and I don't wanna hold his hand. No, I don't wanna hold his hand, 'cause he's leading me into the woods where my brain comes unfurled for no good. Oh, my darkest old friend, lending power to hand and pen, drown your song in the sea with Ahab's obsessions and grief. No more faithful and true, bones without flesh, filthy and lewd, a naked unmanned from your post. I wonder who will miss who the most. Oh, 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 darling, touch me now, kiss me all night long. You know I've been here before, but I don't wanna hold his hand. No, I don't wanna hold his hand, 'cause he's leading me into the woods where my brain comes unfurled for no good. Hey there, sparrow, chirping in the tree, hawks all circling, what is that to thee? You made me feel brand new. Wolves are silent, waiting by the door. Really like to feed them, they always want more. Oh, I know when the lights turn low, and the mystery above it all is the hand that made the bird made me. Moonlight The sun shines somewhere in the middle. I breathe. Hey there, darkness, whispering in my ear, melancholy song and a lifetime of fear. No, I won't sing with you no more, no more. Hey there, sparrow, chirping in the tree. Hawks have moved on, now it's just you and me. It's just you and me, and the mystery above it all is the hand that made the bird, made me. Moonlight, sunshine, somewhere in the middle, I breathe. I follow his tracks in the snow, far beyond where most people go. He rips and tears among the pines, howls at the moon when it shines. But as the night comes to a close, I wonder where the beast within him goes. I see him walking in the street like a man who walks just like me. That is where I leave him, for I am not so brave. The stubborn drain defeats me, it keeps me afraid. Without notice, he'll steal away, while others, they get lost in the fray. I see those footsteps in the snow, where I can surely never go. But as the night comes in its time, whose footsteps are headed for the pines, I wake and I see the feral howl is springing forth from me. that is where I leave you. For you are not so brave. The Sturm Drang defeats you. It keeps you afraid.
Petrich, welcome to the Pittsburgh Current Concert Series.
Thank you. Thank you
Thanks
very
for
much,
being here.
Charlie.
Really appreciate you coming by. It's great to have Dan here because I think we had Ryan Hoffman in the Pioneers, but we've been wanting to get someone with a folk background, just the musician and their guitar, the songwriter and their guitar, and let them come out here and do their thing. How long have you been playing music?
I played in high school in various bands. I played bass back then, but I've been writing songs probably since age 19, around there. So close to 30 years. I'm giving away my age, but
where do you think that came from? The desire to?
My family was always really into music. I remember family parties where my dad and his two brothers, they would sing three-part harmony, Everly Brothers, Beatles, and from a very early age, I was really drawn to harmony, and it just sounded so good to me, and I think definitely it started there.
Do you have you played in bands before? You mainly been a solo act, or how's that sort of?
Mainly
progressed?
solo. I used to be in several rock bands, but I sort of found my niche in acoustic folk music. So for the last so many years, 5 or 6 years, I've been basically doing it on my own.
One of the great things about folk music, obviously, is the sense that a lot of times, regardless of what musician you listen to, there's a familiarity to it. But you still have to make it modern and something new. How have you as a musician managed to do that, do you think?
Well, I think although I've probably tapped into the traditional idiom of folk music, a lot of earthy imagery, I think the songs that I have written, at least for the last 2 albums, have been pretty personal. I try to always walk that line between personal but not so personal that no one else can relate to it. So I think you bring yourself to it. It's such a wonderful tradition that you can step into because many of the chord structures, the techniques, the melodies are very familiar, but you put your own spin in it by giving what you can.
What sort of stuff do you delve into in your songwriting? Does it depend just on where you are in your life, how you're feeling, or do you set out with a particular theme in mind as you're writing?
Well, this latest collection called Of Devils, Gods, and Men, which came out at the end of last year, that when I started writing that batch of songs, and it was written over a number of years actually, I didn't necessarily consciously consider what I was doing, but I soon discovered that certain themes and certain tendencies were popping up. And so the title of Devils, Gods, and Men, I sort of was exploring the broad nature that defines human beings. And so I kind of hit all levels along the way.
How personal are you, or how deep are you able to go into your own personal experiences without exposing something sort of raw? Maybe that's the point, to expose something raw so it comes through in the music. But how do you know as a songwriter when you've gone maybe too deep and when you just need to step back and you're not necessarily telling your story, although you can relate? How do you do that?
I think it's pretty intuitive. You have to kind of live with the song for a while, and before you present it to an audience, and you generally, at least I do, get a sense of, oh, that's a little too personal, a little too painful to share. Certainly don't want to tread into the emo territory. There has to be a certain degree of distance from it. And so I think just sort of sensing when that might be, trusting your gut on it.
Speaking of distance, you put out your first record in 2009, Sycamore Tales.
I did.
And then just at the end of last year, you put out Of Devils, Gods, and Men. What was what were you doing in the interim there? I know you're a teacher, correct? An English teacher at Mount Lebanon High School. So obviously you've got the day gig going on.
Yes.
So Was it something in doing something else, taking up your time, or were you sort of deciding there just wasn't the right time for a record at that point?
In addition to teaching high school, I have 3 kids, and so they all needed my care and love, and I really delved into coaching certain sports that they were in, and now they're getting a little older, at least the 2 of them, and I carved out a little bit of time to do this. So I think primarily it was just getting used to being a dad and trying to balance all of that. I was still writing songs, but just sort of storing them for the future when something would come into shape.
Did you have sort of a dearth of songs when you decided to do another record, or did you write specifically for this collection based on how you were feeling at the time, or was it a mix?
I basically sat on and built songs for that time period, stockpiled them, and there were, of course, a number of songs that didn't make it onto the album. I only chose the songs that I thought would be thematically appropriate. So I had all of those songs. I'm not one to really just work on the fly. It's not my style. And so that's really the way it all came together.
I'm sure you love all your children the same, but your songs, I would think that there had to be some hard choices when you were going through 9 years of material to decide what to put in, what to leave out.
Right.
How do you, I mean, you just clearly have to set, like, this doesn't go with the theme, even though I think it's a fantastic song. People have to wait for it, or?
Yeah, I think it's a combination probably of picking the best songs and then picking the songs that are going to fit that project. So I actually have about 5 or 6 songs that I think would work well for an EP. That's probably the next project. When, based on my track record, I'm not even going to make predictions, but I'm just sort of enjoying playing these songs, performing these songs, and so it's been a lot of fun.
Who are your influences growing up? Were you listening to a lot of folk artists, or where were your influences coming from?
Of course, when I was younger in high school, I listened to a lot of classic rock, DVE, of course, Led Zeppelin, U2, Pink Floyd. But then when I discovered folk music, particularly I would cite one artist, Gillian Welch. She's my absolute favorite. She was just a gateway for me to all this other music that I've discovered that kind of resides under the radar, but it's wonderful. I like the simplicity of her songs, the harmonies, just everything is stripped down and very, very honest.
Yeah.
Really, there's nowhere to hide, and I like that.
You actually opened, I think, for one of my favorite artists, Charlie Parr. I love Charlie Parr. He's really. What was that experience like for you?
It was great. I actually opened for Charlie 3 times.
Wow.
I loved his music too, and I reached out to him for a little bit of advice on my songs, and being just a wonderful guy, he got back to me and encouraged me tremendously. And when he found out he was coming to Pittsburgh, we agreed that I would open for him, and it was just a great experience, and I ended up opening for him 2 additional times. He's been a big supporter and encourager of me.
Yeah, you guys need to check out Charlie Parr. He's just a fantastic folk musician. Before we talk more about a little bit about, we'll let you get back to playing, but does coming from an English background, a literary background, does that help you in the songwriting, or did you think that influenced you more in wanting to become a songwriter?
Yeah, I of course, as an English teacher, I really love language, and I respect it. But for me, I think finding the sort of milieu where I would be able to create my own stuff the best, it just sort of evolved into songwriting. And so that's sort of how it worked. I can't help but be influenced by all of the things that I teach, particularly American literature, a lot of that earthy imagery, and I think in one of the songs you'll hear an allusion to Atticus Finch, one of my favorite books to teach, and I think that's a book all kids need to read.
Yeah.
And so that stuff sort of just, I think, seeps into my unconscious. It's nothing I really plan, but it sort of makes its way out into the songs.
So we can expect an EP sometime in the next 8 to 15 years.
Oh, that's yeah.
But what what do you have coming up for the summer and beyond?
I have a bunch of stuff. In June, I'm going to be playing for a Relay for Life event benefiting cancer awareness, and then I'm going to be playing at prominent music festival in the city, but I can't really mention it yet because they haven't released all of the performers. I'm also going to be playing at a First Friday in Mount Lebanon. It's promoting WYEP's singer-songwriter competition. I was just blown away to be chosen as one of YEP's March Artists of the Month, and so that's kind of how the partnership occurred. And then way down the line in December, Carnegie Library in Oakland has these Sunday afternoon music series, and so I'm going to be playing there in December. They book far in advance.
Yeah, that's great. Where can folks find out more about your music? And I'm sure you'll be playing some dates in between that. Where can folks find out information?
Facebook, Dan Petrich Music. They can go to my YouTube page. I have a number of videos on there. It's called Sycamore Dan, all one word. And then they can check out my recordings on Bandcamp, Dan Petrich at Bandcamp. Also on Spotify, iTunes, all of that stuff.
Fantastic. Dan, we love your stuff. We're going to let you finish up here. This is Pittsburgh Current Concert Series. We're going to finish up here with Dan Petrich.
Thank you.
In the lonely hours when the secret goes surface, do you feel nervous? I do. As the orphan leaves are released from the birch tree, do you confront me? I do. 'Cause I'm afraid so many things. Can I get a message to you? And I have strayed in so many ways from the path traveled by you. As the whipping wind rips us out of our dreaming, what is the meaning to you? Standing side by side, facing darkness unfolding, what are you holding on to? 'Cause I'm afraid so many things. Can I get a message to you? And I have strayed in so many ways from the path traveled by you. Storms are closing in now, the bunker, it's ready. Can I get a message from you? Will you bring provisions from the world that used to be? A world with you and me. 'Cause I'm afraid of so many things. Can I get a message to you? And I have strayed in so many ways from the path traveled by you.
sure I have the right harmonica. It's happened before. Got up there, had the wrong harmonica from the first blow, you know. Ooh, better not play. All right, this is the title song to Of Devils, Gods, and Men. Old black dog on the road. Old black dog on the road. Growling loud, dark as sin, looking for that fight again. Old black dog on the road. As a boy I knew I couldn't pass. As a boy I knew I shouldn't pass. Out from school, Hazel Drive, frozen fear, no mother's smile. As a boy I knew I couldn't pass. Mr. Finch dropped him with one shot. Mr. Finch dropped him with one shot. Glass is cracked, aim is true. Finish him what I couldn't do. Mr. Finch dropped him with one shot. Devils, gods, and men. Battle waged over and again. Devils, gods, and men. Oh, I'll meet you on that road again. Jesus Christ, 40 days and nights. Jesus Christ, 40 days and nights. Turn that stone into bread, and your hunger Satan said. Jesus Christ, 40 days and nights. Devils, gods, and men. Battle waged over and again. Devils, gods, and men. Oh, I'll meet you on that road again. Yes, I'll meet you on that road again. Oh, we'll meet you on that road again. All right, I have one more song. This is called Singing with Mermaids. Places marked with ancient masking tape, steps you follow in your sleep.
train distraction for the men in suits and the boys with wooden smiles. Listen to me, won't you let it go? Haven't you waited all your life? Sing a new song as the footlights fade and the stage is packed away. Don't tell me I should, even if I could. Would I be any good? How would I know if my voice would be as strong when I sing a new song? Stepping on the sand with feet unshod, dreaming of waves and mermaid songs. Will they call me sister, swim with us under the waves that roll for miles and miles? Wild melody, unchained from time, singing for armies of the deep, the deep. Oh, life carnival now, it fades away. Sleeping the sound is death it knows. Yes, I know I'd be good. Oh, I know I'd be good. Riding on waves. Oh, my sisters, I come. Now to you I belong. Oh, my sisters, I come. Now to you I belong.